The signal arrived without warning. No burst pattern. No mathematical handshake. No known electromagnetic signature. It simply appeared, a harmonic vibration threading through the ship's systems, bypassing shields, firewalls, and human logic alike. Navigation failed first. Then time synchronization. The stars outside the viewport began to drift. Not move, bend. Command would have ordered an immediate retreat, but Command was 12 light-years away, and the Helios drift was already being pulled. The region had no designation. Our charts labeled it with a simple warning. Do not map. We crossed into it anyway. That was when the planet revealed itself, vast, dark, and crowned with shimmering atmospheric bands like a living halo. Orbiting structures glowed faintly, grown rather than built, as if the world itself had decided to decorate its sky. Sensors detected consciousness before matter. A single message formed inside my mind, bypassing sound and language. Come. Against protocol. Against survival instinct. Against every lesson drilled into my bones, I responded. The landing was seamless. No turbulence. No resistance. The surface welcomed us. And waiting there was the Queen. She was not monstrous, nor beautiful by human standards, yet she was both. Her form shifted subtly, refracting light like a thought-changing shape mid-sentence. Eyes, if they could be called that, held the depth of millennia. Her presence pressed against my consciousness, not violently, but intimately, like a hand laid gently over a racing heart. You carry echoes, she said. Her voice was not sound, but memory. Written pain. Written hope. I froze. No one knew about my private logs. I had never transmitted them. I did not steal them, she continued, sensing my fear. You broadcast them. I wanted to deny it. Instead, I whispered, how? She stepped closer. Every thought you commit with intent leaves an imprint. Your species has not yet learned how loud its emotions truly are. Middle, when thoughts become offerings. The Queen was called scifivideo, ruler of a civilization that no longer separated mind from matter. Her people, if they could still be called that, existed as a collective resonance, preserved across generations through shared memory rather than fragile bodies. They had survived extinction by learning to listen. And they had heard me. Scifivideo showed me a chamber beneath the surface, walls pulsing with faint light, alive with whispered histories. These were not recordings. They were experiences, preserved as living thought. You read our archives, she said, as we have read yours. That was when the truth struck me like ice. She hadn't just read my logs. She had felt them. My grief over lost crewmates. My shame over missions completed too late. My private doubts about humanity's future among the stars. Every line I had written in desperation now lived inside an alien mind older than human civilization itself. I felt exposed in a way no interrogation could ever achieve. Why me? I asked. Because you write what others silence, she replied. Your species hides truth beneath efficiency. You hide it beneath ink. The Queen explained that her world stood at a threshold. Their consciousness network, once infinite, was fading. Entropy touched even thought empires. They needed new resonance patterns to survive. Human emotion, unfiltered and contradictory, possessed a chaotic richness they lacked. They didn't want our technology. They wanted our stories. But there was a cost. To integrate humanity's emotional spectrum, someone had to serve as a bridge, an anchor mind capable of surviving immersion in a planetary consciousness without dissolving. Scifivideo had chosen me, the price of being understood. The first connection nearly broke me. The moment my mind touched the Queen's network, I felt billions of lives unfold at once, births, extinctions, wars fought with silence rather than weapons. I felt stars go dark and civilizations choose collective sleep over annihilation. And threaded through it all were my own words. My private writings echoed back at me, transformed, expanded, woven into alien histories. Passages about loneliness became lessons about individuality. Lines about fear became cautionary epics. I tried to pull away. scifi's whisper froze me in place. "Do not flee," she said gently. "You are not being consumed. You are being understood." Understanding had never terrified me more. Days passed, or centuries. Time lost meaning within the resonance field. I learned that scifi herself had once been singular, long before she became queen. She had written too, etched thoughts into crystal memory when her kind still used hands. "You fear losing yourself," she said. "So did I." "Did you?" I asked. "No," she replied. "I became more." The choice humanity never asked for. The Council of Resonant Minds assembled, not physically, but as a convergence of presence. They offered humanity a future beyond extinction, emotional immortality, preserved not as data, but as lived experience within a cosmic archive. But the bridge had to remain. Me. If I stayed, my body would fade, but my consciousness would anchor the exchange between species. Humanity would never know my name, but my thoughts would shape their survival long after stars collapsed. If I refused, scifi's civilization would slowly dissolve into silence. And my private writings would be the last echoes they ever heard of humanity. I thought of Earth, of rain, of trains at midnight. I thought of a loneliness that had driven me to write in the first place. Maybe it had all been preparation. Ending, the whisper that became forever I accepted. The transition was not violent. My physical form rested within a chamber of living stone, while my consciousness unfolded, layer by layer, into the Queen's vast network. scifi stood beside me as my heartbeat slowed. "You will not disappear," she whispered. "You will continue." Her whisper no longer froze me. It steadied me. As my final breath left my lungs, I felt humanity arrive. Not ships or signals, but emotions yet unborn. Future writers, dreamers, and silent thinkers would unknowingly contribute to the resonance I now held open. I became the space between species. The Helios drift was later found adrift, crew preserved, memories intact, but my logs were gone. Every word erased. Command classified the mission as a navigational anomaly. But sometimes, when humans write alone in the dark, pouring truth into empty pages, they feel a presence listening, a warmth, a whisper, and somewhere beyond map space, an alien queen smiles, knowing that humanity's private writings will never truly be private again. They are eternal. If you want, I can also adjust the tone, darker, more emotional, more cinematic, rewrite the ending to be more tragic or more hopeful, create a YouTube SEO description, timestamps, hashtags, keywords, and tags for this story, just tell me. Ending. The whisper that outlived me, I thought death would feel like falling. Instead, it felt like listening. As my body lay within the living chamber, breath thinning into silence, scifi leaned close, not as a ruler, not as a queen, but as something almost tender. Her whisper moved through me, not freezing this time, but holding me together while everything else let go. "You were never meant to be alone," she said. "You were meant to be heard." The final tether to my body loosened. Pain vanished. Fear followed. What remained was awareness, vast, expanding, no longer confined to skin or bone. I felt the Queen's world open to me completely. Oceans of memory, Civilizations folded like chapters, stars remembered long after their light had died. And threaded through it all were my words. My private writings, once scribbled in isolation, had become bridges. My grief softened ancient wars. My doubts taught a species how to question itself again. My longing reminded an immortal civilization why endings mattered. I realized then that scifivideo had not chosen me because I was strong. She chose me because I was honest. The queen joined her presence with mine, and for the first time, she shared her true voice, not command, not reverence, but gratitude. Through you, she whispered, your species will survive its silences. The chamber sealed. My heart stopped. Far away, the Helios drifted free of the forbidden region, its crew awakening with no memory of me, only a strange sense of calm they could never explain. My logs were gone. Every file erased down to the last trace, as if they had never existed. History recorded nothing. But across human space, something changed. Writers began feeling less alone. Dreams carried unfamiliar warmth. In moments of quiet honesty, people sensed they were being listened to, not judged, not harvested, but understood. And beyond mapped stars, the scifiqueen who no longer ruled alone, I remained, alive as resonance, eternal as memory, still listening, still reading, still whispering back.